Let's talk about well-being in Timberborn. Well-being will have an impact on your beavers, their work speed or growth speed for adults and baby beavers respectively, their movement speed, and in their life expectancy. So making sure that your beavers are happy and that their needs are fulfilled becomes very important for the game. One real quick side note before I get into the specifics. Each of these videos usually takes me about an hour, so if you find this helpful, please let me know in the comments below, or if there's another topic that you'd like to see me cover, again, let me know in the comments below. It'll really help the channel out. Without any further ado, each beaver will have a well-being score. As that score goes higher, they will get increased bonuses for their work speed if they're an adult, their growth speed if they're a baby, which is basically how long it will take them to become an adult, their movement speed, and their life expectancy. Activating these bonuses, of course, then means that your beavers will be able to generate items that much quicker, move around the map that much faster, and live longer, which in turn will help you better manage death waves that can occur. The first category of needs for well-being are basic needs. This includes hunger, thirst, sleep, shelter, and wet fur. In the case of hunger, this of course is eating. Your beavers are going to eat the food that effectively they have gone the longest without. You can actually see this by bringing up a beaver score and noticing which food type has the lowest current score. That's going to be the type of food that they will eat. They will go across the entire map to go find that particular type of food, bypassing any other food along the way. As a result, you want to make sure that you have a variety of food wherever it is that your beavers are going to congregate. If you've put all of your housing in one centralized location, make sure that you have warehouses with all of the various types of food. If you have a remote build site, it's not a bad idea at all to set up different smaller warehouses, again, with that variety of food. If all that you wind up putting there is, say, grilled potatoes, the only time that they're going to eat those grilled potatoes is when that need for grilled potatoes hasn't been met recently. Next up is thirst. This is pretty straightforward. Your beavers need to drink water. Whenever they get thirsty, they will go ahead and in turn drink water. Your beavers also need to sleep. Unlike hunger or thirst, where if a beaver is without those, they might die, if they are low on sleep, if they're low on wet fur, or if they don't have shelter, they won't die. However, it will impact their happiness score, their well-being score, and thus in turn impact all of those different bonuses and wind up slowing the beavers down. Beavers will not sleep any longer than is required. So they're not going to go to bed early and sleep in late. They're going to go to bed at the moment in time in which they will be able to recharge themselves and to refill that little line for sleep. Those first three needs of hunger, thirst, and sleep are going to be met before a beaver will turn their attention to any of the other well-being needs. Shelter is simply having a place for a beaver to sleep. This could be barracks in the case of iron teeth, or a lodge in the case of folktails. Finally, we have wet fur, and wet fur can be met by a shower, a lido deck, or by simply making sure that the beavers at some point will walk through the water. So if you have a path that, say, goes through your river, that will trigger the wet fur score for that beaver. The next two categories that I want to talk about are social life and fun. These categories are grouped together because they each require an action by the beaver to fulfill that need. Beavers will only take this action during non-working hours and after their basic needs have been met. I want to highlight the lido deck real quick here. because what's unique about the Lido deck is it will fulfill two separate needs. It'll fulfill that need for fun, but because it involves swimming, will also fulfill the need for wet fur. Finally, we have the passive needs. These are aesthetics and awe. These are different buildings or decorations that your beavers will walk past, and that will in turn trigger that particular need. It's a good idea to make sure that you are building these in close proximity to where your beavers are either going to pass by or congregate. From a strategy point of view, when it comes to food, make sure that you have multiple types of food and try to grow that diversity as relatively as early as possible. So get carrots planted, get sunflower seeds planted, and get those grilled potatoes going as early as possible in the game. It's also worth noting here that berries are not on this list. Berries will fulfill that hunger need, but your beavers will only eat them if there is literally nothing else to eat. For your social life, the campfire and the rooftop terrace are unlocked right at the beginning of the game. So when you're setting up your housing, get a campfire down, get a rooftop terrace once you have those stairs to make sure that those needs are fulfilled as early as possible, which will help you out quite a bit in that early game where making sure that you can get resources as early as possible becomes quite important. Finally, putting down a couple of shrubs on heavily trafficked paths, putting down a couple of roofs on buildings that either your beavers are sleeping in or are walking past is a great way to also help boost that early game well-being score.